record button. Hi everybody, you can see and hear me. Yay! Oh, I'm so excited to be doing this. I love doing the Q&As on Zoom. I did do a Q&A the other week inside the Facebook group, which hopefully some of you might have caught up with, but the system I used was a bit pants and I looked like a blurry blob. So I thought, actually, why don't we do You Can't Hear Me, says Rosie. Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me? You can hear me. Rosie, it might be something your end, sweetheart, your audio, which you can't hear because you can't hear me say that. Hold on one second. On your audio. Log out and log in again. So yes, that's why I wanted to run the Q&A today on Zoom, and because I am somewhere hot and sunny and I really wanted to share it with you all because it's so cool. Very excited. These guys you probably saw in the Facebook group, we're off on our mentoring trip at the moment. This is our third mentoring trip that we've run this week, and every time we go, we take them on a secret trip. No one ever knows where they're going. So all they have to do is turn up at the airport with a bag and their passport, and that's it. And they don't know anything else. And so we freaked them all out this week with a trip to Crete. We're in Crete at the moment, and it's just been the most amazing week. I cried this morning, so I don't want to leave. But we can come back at some point in time. But there's so many amazing transformations, and these guys have already been on like a 10-month journey with me, and they've just, I can't put it into words what's really happened today. Thank you. Love your joy and my smile. It's because I'm doing what I love. It's so exciting. That's why I wanted to kind of share with you guys this morning. Just some of you might have seen my Facebook Live the other day about just living your passion. That's what I really reconnected to this week, that everyone deserves to be doing this. Everyone should be living their life doing the things that they want to do. And I don't say that from a place of like, ew, look at me in a swanky place. I'm still sat here like, oh my God, is this really happening? And it is really happening. But aside from all of that, I wanted to share the sunshine with you, but these guys are busy. They don't need me at the moment. So I thought I would be available for all of you.
And it's been the most amazing transformation, and you must be here.
It's scary.
I overheard it. I had to come in.
That way. Oh, you do officially have to be bonkers. I'm not sure if you probably didn't hear Kerry, but yeah, that was Kerry. Meet Kerry. So, you lovelies, I am here for you this morning, and the reason I wanted to do the Q&A on here is so that we can do the work, and you actually got the opportunity to ask me the questions whilst we're on here live. So I don't know if you want to raise your hand if anyone's not used this system before. In the top right hand, there is a thing for raising your hand somewhere. She says there's a little button that helps you raise your hand. I can see Carly's got an actual hand up. That would be great. Let's try that one. Hi, darling. How are you?
Hello. I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm so excited you're starting with us.
I'm so excited.
I'm so
I wish
excited.
I was there.
You will be. You will be next year.
I know. I will. I definitely will. I love it.
You're just only 2 weeks. I don't even know what day it is. What day is it today?
It's Friday,
isn't it?
And I'm in North London.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So,
is it sunny there?
It's not bad. I'll show you out the window. It's blue skies. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, look, there's your double-decker red bus over there. No, it's not bad.
I love
not
it.
as nice as where you are.
Honestly, I think I have actually found where I want to move to. Genuinely think I found where I want to move to. So
looks lovely.
Yeah, I just need to tell my other half that now that we're moving. So, what was your question, Han? What was your question?
Basically, I mean, I do my 10 I check in every day, and I do my head, heart and hara every day, and I do my 10 elements. I actually did it before. I do that almost every day, but I still struggle with stress and anxiety, and I don't know if there's, I know I spoke to one of your mentors, Jeannie, and she said sometimes it's how you're saying things to release things.
Yeah. So Yeah, so what's your question?
Yeah, so basically, is there anything else I should be doing, releasing, to to release any stress and anxiety that I'm dealing with?
Yes.
Or is it? Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a really good question. So you've probably seen, I think I talked about it inside the 5 days to flow. Obviously we've got the 10 key areas of your life that I talk about. So your universal connection, thoughts, emotions, physical health, environment, relationships, lifestyle, money, passion and purpose, and making an impact. So they're the 10 key areas of your life. And that's you've probably seen me talk about the energy evolution journey. Like that's the journey we take people on to look at everything. But you can use those 10 key headings to sway on, exactly like you've been doing, Carly, to check in with yourself every day. Am I in alignment with those things? So we've been having this conversation this week because I've been teaching all of these guys. Being in alignment, the actual term in alignment, means that your head, your heart, and your hara, well, you've all heard me talk about those 3 things, head, heart, and hara. Yeah, it means that the energy of those are all vibrating at the same rate. So they're saying the same message. Now, that vibration that they're sharing, or that message that they're sending, can be not that it's an out of flow alignment. It's just that the vibration is lower because, like in your case, you're still carrying that stress and anxiety. So it's not as aligned as it could be should you not have that anxiety.
Yeah.
So being in alignment means your head, your heart, and your hara are saying the same message. It doesn't mean I'm resistance free.
Okay. Yeah.
Does that make sense? So
yeah, that does make complete sense. Yeah.
So it's like where I'm at right now are these 3 things saying the same message, and usually it is a positive vibration, but it just means that all 3 things are in sync.
Okay.
So you feel better than you would had you not done it, but it doesn't mean that all the resistance is gone. So if you're
halfway there, sort of thing, I'm halfway there.
So, but that's why you're coming on the next part of the journey, because there's so much more than I could possibly share with you guys in the 5 days. But if you're still feeling the stress and anxiety, there is still something in your energy, resistance or reversal, and it could be a particular situation or any situation that you've had in your past that is still there. So think about resistances and reversals as like an energy imprint. So something, or maybe a collection of things that happened at some point in your life. And so this stress and anxiety that you're still carrying is related to something that's still in your energy that you just haven't specifically identified and worked on yet.
Okay.
So your work is to find what that thing is. And that's why this way is so powerful, because now you can then go back and start working on what it was that created that. So I haven't got a sheet of paper. I've normally got a flip chart if I'm at home, but I haven't got a flip chart with me at the moment in here. Actually, one second. Amy. Oh, thank you, Steph. Could I just have a piece of flip chart paper, please, and a pen, darling? I will manifest, asking you to receive. I'll show all of you a really, really simple way to approach any situation, because sometimes we have things, obviously, like I said, what I've introduced you to is a way, but it doesn't stop things still coming up in your life that don't neatly fit into one of those 10 boxes, or it might be the 6th thing on the list. You're like, but I need to deal with it now. So would it be helpful if I shared with you a way for you to do that?
Yes.
Would that be handy? Okay, cool. So you'll probably want to get yourself a piece of paper and a pen, and then hopefully when Steph comes back with it, I'll draw this out for you in my makeshift office. 1 second. Okay. It is. Sorry, someone's just running across. Hang on 1 second. Oh, I've got the actual whole flip chart. Thank you, darling. This is a children's easel that we've been lent this week. Thank you, sweetheart. Do you want to meet Steph? Come on, say hi, Steph. Steph, everyone.
Morning, everyone. How are you doing? I can say it is phenomenal. Even if you're asked to get to put some ungodly hour in the morning, it is so worth it. Come and join us next year. I'll be here.
Hi, everyone's jumping.
We just come to say hi. It's awful.
How are you? It's awful, isn't it?
It's terrible.
So
You will not
hot.
enjoy it.
You'll
never transform.
Can I touch the bubbles, please? I'm about to touch the bubbles. Go away, you lot. They're bloody rebels. Oh, look, they're all...
Wonderful week. You all need to be here next time.
Right, bubbles, you got your pens, go away, you lot. I said to them all this morning, I was like, I'm teaching at 12 o'clock, like, please can you not interrupt? And they're all like, you know exactly what we're going to do now. Monkeys. Right, bubbles. So in the middle of your bubble, what you want to write, this is if you want to work on any particular situation that you've got going on. So in the middle, write the issue that you've got. And then outside it, you want to write 5 other bubbles. So I will do them in a slightly different. Is this the right way around, by the way? Does that say issue? And can you read it? It does. Okay, because sometimes it flips the camera. So you want to do 5 other bubbles. And in those, you want to work on the 3 things you've already heard me talk about a lot, which are energy is the first one. Thoughts and beliefs. Emotions. So even if you just worked on those 3 initially would be brilliant. But if you really want to go deep, I'll show you the rest of the. Oh, hi, Lazara. Hello, where are you? I didn't realise you're on here. There's lots of people on. Give me a wave, darling. I can't see you. There you are. Hi, darling. I can see you down there. Hello. So energy, thoughts, beliefs, emotions, and then you want to write on people and situations. So there I can see my very grown-up flip chart here. So energy, thoughts and beliefs, emotions, situations, and people. And so this is going to be your to-do list. This is going to be the checklist that you can work through and add everything to. So say, for example, I don't know what, say for example, you're feeling a stress and anxiety, but you don't necessarily know what it was connected to. Okay, Kylie? So what happens to your energy? So when we talk about energy, what we mean is what happens to your energy when you think about a thing. When you think about that thing, what happens? Hold on 1 second. I'm just going to...
Well, I just start feeling a bit anxious.
Hold on 1 second, hon. Let me just... Oh, no, I've unmuted the wrong person. Sorry, I could hear someone else's... There we go. I can, yeah. So what happens to your energy? Where's that anxious feeling? So does it make you feel heavy? Is it like a panicky feeling in your chest?
Panicky, chest.
So that's what we mean by energy. So when I talk about what happens to your energy, it's like, what is that thing showing up? What is that resistance that you're feeling? Because sometimes, you know, if you're thinking about a situation, it might be like a heaviness on your shoulders or like something on your back or something feels like it's holding on to you. It's not an emotion. It's a description of what happens to your energy. So outside this, you can make all the notes around what happens to your energy when you think about that thing. So in the middle, you'd write stress and anxiety in your case. Then what happens to your energy?
Okay.
Then you want to look at all the thoughts and beliefs you have connected to that situation. So it might be, you know, I've had this stress and anxiety for the last 10 years. It's going to take me ages to let go of it. Or I'm always anxious and therefore it's, you know, it's just the way I am and it's always been that way. We might have different beliefs around that. Or if it involved somebody else, you know, that's just how they are. I'm never going to be able to fix them. So write down all the thoughts you have about this thing, all the beliefs you have about this thing, or, you know, that I'm always stuck with it, whatever the things are that come up on a sort of a mental level. Then the emotions, you can, does everyone remember the emotional scale? Have you all seen the emotional scale? Yeah, so the emotional scale is a really useful tool to help you with this. What happens to your emotions? So use the scale and sway all the way up. So do I have fear connected to this issue? Do I have depression connected to this issue? Do I have guilt connected to this issue? Like, use the emotional scale to use the list to work all the way and sway and see which ones you have. And then you can either check in with each of the emotions as a feeling. So what does fear feel like in your body and work on that? Or you can use the numbers method. So you can ask how many times or how many fears do I have connected to this issue? So how many fears are creating this stress and anxiety for me in your case? You know, is there any feeling of guilt? How many times have I felt guilty around this? So what we're doing with these first 3 is clearing up all of the different places in our energy that these things might be connected to, because your stress and anxiety hasn't come from just one thing. It might have started with one thing, but then there'll be lots of other things that have now been connected to it. So these connections are happening on an energetic level, but they also happen in our brain. So there's I'm sure some of you've probably heard of this, a process called neuroplasticity. So our brain is rewiring itself all the time. And so every situation that you get into where you're feeling stressed or anxious is now wired in, literally in your brain, to this same pattern of things. Yeah. So what we're doing by EAMing them is changing those patterns on an energetic level, but we're also changing our brain chemistry and structure by disconnecting all of the things that it believes it's connected to. So we are literally rewiring our brains with doing these. So we're changing the energy. You then change the thoughts, change the emotions, but get all of these things out on a piece of paper first before you start actually doing the 5 steps with them. So then down the bottom, the other ones that you've got are people and situations. So sorry, I didn't mean to make you look at my boobs. So the people is other people that you connect this situation to. So I don't know, other people that perhaps make you feel stressed or anxious in your case, but it might be a situation where you're like, this person did this thing to me, this person did this to me. It could be that you're working on an issue of like judgment, and in your life, you know, about 12 people that you feel have judged you. It's about writing down all of the people that you think are involved. And then situations. So have there been situations in your past connected to this? Or are there any situations in your future that are making you feel this or you're concerned about as well? So it's like life events.
Okay.
So now you've got your to-do list. Now you've got a list of things for you to sit and work through, like individually, and go back through them and start working through them using EAM on all of those things. Okay. And by doing this work, you'll probably discover more, and you can add more things to this as you work through the sheet. But it means that you can actually systematically work through almost any issue that you've got going on, because most things are connected really to these first 3. But if you want to go in depth, then work on these ones down here.
Thank you.
Was that helpful?
That was really helpful. Definitely.
Was that helpful for everyone else on the call? I can see you all scribbling notes.
Yeah, I'm writing it all down, but I think definitely with people, I'll work through that as well, because certain people can make me feel quite resistant, and I get a lot of energy attachments from certain people as well. Yeah, which I have to work through so much most days, depending on who I'm spending my day with, and what they're going through in their life. But yeah, that's so helpful. Thank you. So just on that point, I mean, literally, I could sit here and talk to you for the next 5 days. Blah, 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 blah. I've got loads to share. But and this is one for all of you. Who else has got people in their life? Who else has got people in their life that they know drain their energy in some way, shape, or form? That it's like, okay. I wasn't going to teach this today, but I'm going to teach you. Carly, thank you very much for this. I'm just going to I'll mute you again, darling. So 2 things about that. First of all, have I taught you this? I'm going to assume that you guys are all at the 5 days to flow kind of stage at the moment. Oh my God, what was that? Can you just go and check someone's okay and they haven't? Sorry, that was just, I don't know if you heard that. It was just a big bang. I don't know. Yeah, mine. Is everyone all right? Okay, cool. It's fine. It's all right. There was just a really big bang upstairs. It sounded like someone had got electrocuted. So I just wanted to make sure everyone was okay. This is how powerful EAM is. We create our own electric shocks. That's what it was. So this is something that we already talk about much, much later on in the journey, but it's really important. It's really helpful to understand, because all of us have this thing going on unless or until we get conscious of this.
So again, you're probably going to want to draw this one out. So draw yourself a triangle this time. So we have the puller, pusher, protector. I'm going to assume that's spelled properly. So we have the protector, the puller, and the pusher. Now this is based on something known as the Kaufmann drama triangle. Some of you might have seen this before. It's in Kaufmann land. They call this the victim, rescuer, and persecutor. So most of us are living our lives and our relationships in one of these three roles, and if most of the time we're changing in between these roles, which is what makes everything so chaotic and a bit confusing. So the Kaufmann drama triangle is the victim, persecutor, rescuer, and he talks about this interaction that we have, this connection that we have with other people, and it's all about power play. It's all about somebody trying to be the winner. So if you hang around with me long enough, you hear me talk a lot about old paradigm and new paradigm ways of living. And this is a very old paradigm way of living. Most people are living their lives in this way because it's what we're taught. So if you think about any film script, there is always a goodie, a victim, someone who needs to be rescued, and a baddie. There is always a baddie. Every soap opera you ever watch, if anyone watches EastEnders or Coronation Street or any of that stuff, we need to have words. But once you've had words, then you'll see this script in all of those, like in every film plot, you'll see this going on. So we think this is a normal way to live and a normal way to communicate. The problem with this is that it is all based on control. So within EAM, we have different names for them because it's actually about the energy with which they carry and what they do to you. So puller energy, if you think about this, and this is Carly, what you were talking about, and everyone else who put their hands up, those people in your life who are literally like they suck your energy from you. They don't mean to, but they're in such a place where they've got so much going on, all they see is what's going on for them. Like they want people to help them. They're reaching out for support is really what they're looking to do, but they want you to do it at the detriment of yourself. And this, I'm saying this on an unconscious level. They want other people to step in and rescue them. They want other people to sort it out for them. They're not ready to step up and change their lives themselves or let go of the thing. They're much happier stuck in the drama and the story. Does everyone recognise those people? Just quick show of hands, those of you I can see, everyone recognise those people? Yeah. So those people are the ones who do literally kind of suck and drain your energy whenever you're anywhere near them, whenever you're around them. And with all the best will in the world, all of us, if we hold our hands up and we are truthful, all of us have been in that place at some point in time. We've all done it. We all do it. It's the place where most people get their love and their validation, because it's the one, if you think about a baby, when we're little, when we cry and we ask for something, we're taught that that's what we get, you know, like that we get love and support, and we carry that throughout the rest of our lives. So everybody wants to be in this pillar position, and everyone's fighting to be the one that's not at fault and not responsible, which is this one here. Then in order for there to be a puller, there has to be some kind of pusher, somebody who is pushing or projecting their energy. Those are usually the people who feel it's okay for them to just tell you what they think about you. And are we all good? Thank you. Tell you what they think, you know, they'll forcefully direct their energy and their anger and attention and all of those things at you and expect you to just take it. They never take responsibility for themselves, but they'll redirect whatever's going on back at you. Do you all recognise that? All seen those people? Yeah. So then we have the protector. Now, when we sort of grow out of victim mode, most of us then move into this mode, the protector mode, because it's where we feel like we're doing our best. We're doing our best by people. We want to look after others. We want to support other people. We want to be there for other people. We want to help them. But very often it comes at a detriment to ourselves, and we will do things against even against our own kind of better judgment. about what we should be doing. We're like, oh, I'll do it because I feel like I ought to, or I feel like I should. And you'll know when you're in this, when you do something for somebody and then you're really pissed off when they don't say thank you. And you'll turn around, and this is when you say to all your friends, I did this for her, and I did that for him, and they did all of this, and this, and they never said thanks. Quick show of hands, who's ever done that? Yes, we've all done it. We've all done it. And so the reason that we call that the rescue or the protector is because we're doing it from our place of love, but actually the reason that we do it is because the payoff for us is the thanks that we get and the recognition that we get for having been the good boy or girl about doing it. So can you see that all three of those energy positions are not a place to be? Mm-hmm. None of them are actually serving us. They're all disempowering. Every single one of them is a disempowering place to be. So the new paradigm way of living is to step outside of all of that and actually to be in the middle at the same time. It's a juxtaposition. But the place to be is to be in your power. So when you come from the center of it all, when you don't get involved in the drama triangle, you can come from a place of power. And that's what we're talking about, that place of alignment, where you let go of the drama, you let go of the stories, you don't allow other people to control your life, because now all of you know this now. You are never going to be able to unknow this. So when you're in your interactions with other people, you will start to recognize, I mean, there's much more to this than obviously what I've shared today, but you'll start to recognize this. So whenever you see this going on, this is an opportunity for you to check in. Like, am I in the puller position right now? Am I whinging about everything I've got going on and how hard my life is and why I can't change it and the story? And I get it. And I understand that we all have those things going on, but energetically, whilst we're there, we cannot move to this place of power. So we have to let go of the drama and the stories. If we're in this mode of, I need to be there to sort this out for people because they can't do it for themselves, I've got to fix it, I'm the only one that's responsible. Again, energetically, we're not in our power. We're giving our time and energy away to them. And if we're over here pointing the finger and saying, it was all them, it was their fault, they did it, they said that, but it's not fair, they did all of these things, it wasn't me, then we're in that place of push, we're pushing it away. And again, we're not in our place of power. So now that you can recognize all of those, your work to do is to release all of that stuff when you notice it coming up, because all of them will take you out of flow. More than anything, our people connections, our relationships with other people are the biggest things that take us out of flow almost in an instant. And it's not just because of this, but it's all of the deep-seated meaning that relationships and connections have for us. It's like the foundation of our entire lives is connection with one another. And so that's why other people pull us out of our energy so quick. The other part two, was that helpful, by the way? Just a quick show of thumbs for everyone. Was that handy? The second part to that is when other people are taking over your energy, or you notice that your energy is being sucked by other people, it's usually because we are not in our flow state. So when you are in flow, nothing can mess with you. The step 5 state puts you into, if you imagine you are a superhero, which of course you all are, but if you know when you see a superhero who's got like this massive force field around them, your step 5 state, when your aura is in flow, your energy expands. Your aura is literally like this amazing crisscross lattice. And as you get into the flow state, and the bigger you are, the more in flow you are, the bigger your aura becomes, the less other people can be affect you. So when you're not in flow, your aura can be like a foot away from you. And so other people can easily get to you and get into your energy. When you're in your most in flow state and expanded, your energy can be up to 20 feet or more away from you. And in that moment, nothing can mess with you. Absolutely nothing can mess with you. And other people's stuff just kind of bounces off the outside. So very often you might have heard in, other healing modalities and things, people say things like, oh, you must put yourself into a protective bubble and you must do this and da-da-da-da. What you're actually introducing is more resistance into the situation, because you're coming from a place of fear and then you're trying to push and keep people away from you, rather than just being in your most step 5 inflow state where no one can mess with you anyway. but from that place you come from a place of love. And then there's no pushback against the interaction. All they receive from you is love, but you are still protecting yourself in a loving way without holding people at back or keeping resistance or putting more resistance into the situation. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So thank you for those. I hope that's... Whoa! I'm getting attacked by the flip chart. Thank you so much for those questions. I can see all these messages in the chat. So who is next? Let me just have a quick... I saw some hands that were raised. Hold on. How many raised hands have we got? I can see one there for Graham. Hold on. I'm coming to you, Graham. There you are. You're unmuted, my lovely. Hello. Oh, I can't hear you. Hold on. Why can't I hear you?
I don't know.
Oh, there we are. Hello. I can hear you now. There we are. What's your question, my love?
No, I was just wondering, you were explaining about the place of being in power in the center of the triangle.
Yes.
And I'm just wondering what it feels like to be in that place and what would bring me in there rather than being the protector and the pusher. Because I think sometimes, you know, I have some problems with friends and things at the moment. And I feel like, you know, the friends who were friends before are not friends at the moment, and I see them hanging out with my other current friends, and I feel like this negativity about it, and I feel like I've had this realization that I'm like pushing away because I'm afraid of being hurt, so I feel like I'm pushing them away even though I haven't said any words, and it's like in my actions I'm doing it, I feel, but I'm trying to get away from that. Does that make sense?
It does, yeah, makes perfect sense. So and a really good question, thank you. So the work for you to do is to do the work on yourself. You've just identified the patterns that you're putting out there, which are doing a twofold thing. A, they're creating the situation that you're seeing because you're feeling like my friends are stepping away. You're recognizing what's happening, so it's going to create more of that. So this process that we had, that's why the flip chart flipped back over. It was so that I could do this for you. So use this process, put that in the middle, like this situation of feeling like I'm left alone or that I'm pushing my friends away, and then work through this process and do the work on yourself. So the way to step back into power is, first of all, recognize that you are in one of those drama positions is the first thing. Second part is do the work. So once you do the work on yourself about what's coming up around it, and allow yourself then in your step 5 state to come from that place of power. That place of power is a place of love. And once you can come from that place of love and recognize, like, I'm not going to step into being the victim in this conversation. I'm not going to step into blaming you for what's happening in this conversation. And I'm not going to come in and rescue you for all the stuff you've got going on. I'm going to be here from a place of love. I still love you, still want to be around you, but I'm not going to play the games in the same way that we used to. And it really messes with people's minds, especially when they're so used to interacting in all of those ways that they did before, but you're not doing it. And I say that in a fun way, like, but it's lovely when it changes. It's really, really, really lovely when it changes. And things will shift and change. You may end up not being friends with that group of people anymore. But what will happen is, because your energy raises and vibrates at a different level, you'll start attracting the people in who are meant to be with you at that level. Are meant to be with you at that level. Okay. So it's okay. Part of the shift and transformation for all of you, not just about relationships, like for anything you've got going on in your life, is about change. And in order for things to change, we do have to let things go in order to let the new things in. And that's not necessarily that will be the case with these guys, but it just might be the case that your relation, what you let go of, is your relationship in the way that it is now, so that you can allow it to evolve into something new, even with those same people. But you have to let it go first.
Right, that's the hard part.
But by letting it go, I just mean energetically, because right now you're holding on to that relationship from a place of fear of I'm not going to be around, I'm going to be on my own, and so that's not the place that you want to come from anyway. Oh. Spiata. They're all doll bombing. So if you're coming from that place of fear, it's not going to be the relationship that you really want anyway. And then they're you feeling that. So let go of how you feel about the fear of letting it go and allow yourself to come from the place of love. Then the relationship will change in a good way towards the things that you want it to be.
Sounds good. I'll give that a go.
And let us know inside the hub. Feel free to post inside the hub after this and let me know how that goes when you've worked on all of this.
Will do. Thank you.
Thank you. You're more than welcome. Thank you. I can see another hand raised. Hold on. Lazare. Is it Lazare? Lazare? How do I pronounce your name, darling?
It's just Lasar.
Lazar. Thank you, darling. Hello. It's so nice to see you. It's so nice.
Thank you very much. It's nice that you remember me. Bless you.
Of course I do. Of course I do.
Wow, loads of people. I've been hovering on the brink of signing up for the full collaborator, is it, where we actually get full training to become a mentor?
So you come and do this. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, no kidding. Would love to. And I have been so blocked. When I speak to gorgeous Lisa Hammond, it's like the of courseness of it and everything, and the connection between her and how I feel, the energetic connection I feel with you. It's just like, it's done, of course. And then I go away from it and I go into such a lot of resistance that I'm even resisting just going near the resistance to clear it. Mm-hmm. And then, because I haven't got the depth of the know-how that you're going to be giving me, if I just signed up and did it, I feel overwhelmed by where to find my way through what's blocked. I've got all these good reasons: victim-y, was bankrupt, is a lot of money, how do I do it with the children, how long will it take to pay that money back if I take the loan? I mean, so much stuff comes up, and absolutely. I'm not making it through, and you begin in June. And I'd like to be on it. I did write down a bit more of a specific, I do want to be supported and to be pinned down to find where these resistances are, because
we don't pin you down too much.
No, please do it. I mean, I get this. I'm already using EAM in my coaching practice, because when I'm in my flow state, it's so obvious. I can feel it, be it, do it, share it. Everything that I teach already, this works with. But what I'm finding is, and it was the same with when I worked with the EFT, it's working through things on a structural, systematic level. Do this, then this, then this, then this. That's what I haven't got the deep practice on. I fly by my intuition. Yeah. But the systematic, rational approach, I just get blocked to using. And that's why I feel I need the course, and yet I can't get near the course because I can't seem to systematically work through my shit.
So there is a reason to that. There is so much more to leading sessions with people than I've only just taught these guys this now, and they've been working with me 10 months on their own stuff. So part one is the first journey you need to go on to really be ready to do this is to work on your own stuff first, and that that's why we do the bit that we do. But from a systematic way from where you are right now, this is where I would put all of that in the middle. Do this that I've shared with you here. Yeah. That's how I would approach this. I can't see all of the
chart, by the way. It's not quite mid-camera, so
there we are. I'll put it down for you. So energy, thoughts and beliefs, emotions you have, people that are involved, and situations, other situations. So everything you just said. So it makes you feel blocked. It makes you feel stuck. Situations, you've previously been bankrupt. Thoughts and beliefs, where am I going to get the money come from? How quick is it going to pay back? Like all of those things, get it out. Other people that are involved, like whatever else it is that you've got going on about it, and just use what you know right now. The 5 steps, if you just apply them to whatever you're feeling in your energy, you will shift so much stuff, even without all the rest of the stuff that I teach you inside the program. That is the complete step. It's just the different variations of how you use it and how you apply it to all of, all the different places in your life. But this is a really, really easy way for you to approach that. So that would be where I'd start with you. Like, even if we were doing a session, this is what I do with you. Is we'd talk it all through. And as you're talking, I'd be, you'd be writing these bits down, and we'd get to work and start working through them. So
I also find that in the constant repetition of I'm ready to release this energy from my energy, da 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 da, something in me starts switching off because of the having to repeat it so many times, and I lose connection with the vitality of it at times, and end up thinking, oh, I'll come back to this later because I'm not really engaged. How do you get over that? You must be using this process up the wazoo. How do you keep it alive?
So as you start using it, you will, normally it takes like 3 repeats. So we do it 3 times, and every time you repeat that statement for step 4, it normally takes like 3 repeats. As you first start with something, especially if you're approaching something huge, and I'd give you the example of money. I'm not necessarily saying that in your case, but say you're approaching a situation like money. A situation like money is massive. Like if you're just going to say, I'm ready to release this resistance I have to money, I release it from my energy in all forms and all levels at all points in time, you're going to be repeating that statement for a really long time because it's such a massive subject. So that's why we use the sway, to get really specific about what it is we are working on and what it is we're releasing. So use the sway to help you get clarity. Don't be too general in the thing that you're working on, because you'll be there for 30 repetitions, like you were saying, like, oh my God, am I still saying this? Why isn't it released? It's usually because you're working on something too big. So use the sway to help you get specific about exactly what it is that you're working on releasing, because normally it might be 3 repetitions. You might then need to check in with step 4 and repeat it again for, a second round of that. But if you've been specific enough, you'll feel the release with that, and you check it with the sway that you've released that resistance. Not always. Sometimes it's really big. Like if you're working on an energy reversal or something like that, sometimes they can be a bit more complicated. But you wouldn't necessarily be repeating exactly the same statement for more than 6 times. You would have then moved on to, okay, so now it's this next piece. Does that make sense? Huge.
It makes such sense. I feel such flow already in my system hearing that and realizing that's what I've been doing. Because
if you've been just going, I'm ready to release all of my money stuff all at once. 21, you're 21, aren't you, darling? You've like 21 years of stuff that you've been carrying around. Like, that's huge. With all the best will in the world, yes, it will help, but it's not going to help in the same way as being specific about it, because money is, and I'm using money as an example, money is how you receive money, how you spend money, how you earn money, whether you deserve money, how much money has been taken from you before, blah, blah, blah. Like it's really complicated. So if you're too global with the subject and just try hammering at it, it's not going to create the shift that you really want or deserve with that.
Yes.
Use
I just haven't been asking enough questions basically to get more specific.
The questions up front are really important. So I mean, I think when you registered for this, you would have seen that I'm going to send you chapter 3, all of you guys. I'm going to send you chapter 3 of the book, which isn't actually going to be the full version of the book. It's actually the mentor level version of chapter 3. So I'm going to be sending you the guys that document, which is about 25,000 words, but it is everything you need to know about how to use the 5 steps of EAM and the ins and outs of a duck's bum, about the way in which to do it. So it's not actually going to make it to the final edit of the book. But in fact, in sharing EAM for the last 3 years, it's helped me learn how to teach it. And now I know the questions, like all you guys have been asking inside the Facebook group, have really helped me to answer the questions that I didn't know I needed to answer in order to help people understand how to do it. So that's what's in there. So you'll all be getting a copy of that very shortly. I will be sending that to you, and that will really help you. It's got like literally everything you need to know about the 5 steps and how to really make them work. So
I've got another question, if that's okay.
Yes. Yep.
This question is really about the potency of this process. I know this is a bit random because we're all in here because we believe and we're feeling the effectiveness of it. And yet there's a part of me that's saying, is just repeating this phrase. I mean, I know who and what I am. I know the whole spiritual big picture of invocation, truth, da, 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 da. And yet there's another part that goes, what about the times we need to move, or we need to cathartic it through breath or sound, or, is every time on every issue just saying I'm ready to release this energy going to get to the root of something?
When you get specific with your questions, your releases, I was just about to say, I'll get one of these guys to tell you, your releases don't just seem like I'm ready to release this from my energy in all forms, and I'm just saying the words, you'll really, when you get to that, the big shifts, which you do by doing the little shifts first, they are full body, like without wanting to freak anybody out, they are full body releases, literally, in very many ways. So it's not just the words. This isn't just a mindset thing. We are working with energy. And so Leslie says I can verify that. Like, I won't share too much, but you know, for the sake of the people that hear, but sometimes the releases we have, like I have people vomiting, like needing to go to the loo pretty urgently, you know, literally feeling like they are giving birth to an energetic baby, which we've had this week. I've had people and I'm not saying this to like, ha ha ha, isn't this fun? I'm saying like when you get to the releases that are actually the releases that need to be done, it isn't just words. Like we are releasing stuff on so many levels that you just can't yet experience. So that's the part of the reason why we do the 10-month journey, is to actually release the stuff that you feel is standing in your way, which actually enables you to get to the real things, the bigger things that are in there, but literally can't come out because they're covered up by all of these other things that we've got we're holding in our aura. So it's not just words.
My journey.
Not that I want you all to get to the point where you're weeing and pooing yourself. That's not my plan. But
no. Well, I'm working on a retreat program. I mean, my training's in rebirthing and EFT and dance and sound, and so I've got all these different tools that I've been exploring for 25 years on clearing and aligning. And I totally know and understand the I amness of who we are and invoking from that place of power and choice and focus. And I also understand resistance to it. And I suppose what I'm just, when I work with the clients on the retreat, for example, they'll put certain people with certain other therapists who take them into the deepest, rawest emotional state. And they're kind of beginning to see me almost as a bit like the unicorn girl who just says, it's that easy because we just choose and da da da. And it's a little bit, hello, Lisa. So I'm wanting to get to the sense of the weight of this process. Do you know what I mean? And what you're saying is so what you're saying is speaking to that. And I'm hoping that by asking this question, I'm also asking it for other people who want to know, like, how deep can we go with this, by simply coming from a place of speaking and invoking the truth for us.
One of the things I think that and it's a brilliant question, thank you. One of the things I think makes EAM very different is I don't take people deep, in the sense that we don't dig in the same way that many other methodologies do. The reason we use this way is to get to the definitive point of what that resistance is. We don't have to go through pain in order to create the releases. We don't have to turn into a big blubbery sovereign mess in order to have the shifts. And one of the big things that we do with this is, it's not like very many other talk therapies where it's like, you must relive the pain, you must relive every moment, because what we do in that moment is actually take ourselves back into that vibration, which then doesn't serve us in the life that we have now. So first of all, it's not about how deep you go, isn't necessarily how transformational something is. And actually a lot of the magic can come from this in the most painless ways of letting go of something, rather than it being ridiculously painful. And that's probably where some of your questions coming from, is like, is this really that easy? Am I really letting go of stuff without having this massive cathartic, like sobbing on the floor, breaking down into a big mess? Can it really have the shifts that it does? And absolutely yes. We do also have the big cathartic massive sobbing on the floor and big messes as well at times, but as a percentage of the work, I'd say it's like 5% of the time. Yes. But the rest of the 95% is because of the way that we do this, and because of the way that we work with step 4, releasing the resistance and aligning, is like, it's called the energy alignment method. It's all about step 5. When we do that piece, when we call the magic back in, the pain that most people feel left and the rawness that people feel with other methods is because they've literally left a hole in their energy. They haven't replaced the energy, they haven't redirected it and used it to create something that they want. They've just been left with a massive great big gaping gap. And so they feel pain. They still feel like someone's just cut them open and left them to be. And that's why we do step 5. Step 5 is about putting you back into that place now of creating the magic of calling in what it is that you want. So, sorry, those of you who don't know this gorgeous lady, this is Lisa.
Hi everyone, it's so lovely so lovely to see so many new faces and some wonderful faces who I've been talking to as well.
So our sneaky group members are on here as well.
I know, they're hiding themselves.
Lorraine's on here. You lot all know this stuff already.
But Kaushika, hi. Liz, hi. Lazari, hi. Elizabeth, hi. Delia, hi.
Oh, I just want to say on here.
I know.
But yeah, so Lazar, did that help? Did that answer your question?
Very, very much. And I feel happy to go ahead and get on extra clearings and get this flipping finance form back to you.
Do it.
Thanks, darlings. Bless you.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. And can you mute yourself? I can't see you now. I've lost you on the wave of 90 people. You've got 91 people.
I know. So I just wanted to come and say hi. You're in the best hands here with our beautiful Yvette. What time's lunch?
I can hear them.
It's about 10 minutes.
Lunch soon,
so I've got some final filming to do with our mentors. Quick. Yeah, I will. So just wanted to say hi and enjoy the rest of the call.
See you in
All
a bit.
right. Bye, ladies and guys.
Bye. Thank you, Angel. Love you.
Love you too.
See you in a minute. I want to stay here forever. I just want to stay here and chat to you forever. Okay. In the chat box, last 3 questions. So the first 3 of you to post your question in the chat box, those will be the last 3 questions that I'll answer today, and then we can do this another day. We can do another one maybe next week or something. I'll message if we didn't get your questions out. Oh, here we are. We need you here, says Leslie. I need to eat, Leslie. I'm getting to that hangry moment of the day. Dream, please. Delia, can we do step 5? I'm happy to listen. I don't know what to do in a relationship. Okay, so Delia, where are you, darling? Let me try and find you. What does dream, please, mean? There you are, darling. Hello. Hello. What was your question, my love?
So I've been dreaming, having some nightmares actually, very heavy nightmares, like dad using drugs or mom being raped, something like that. And then I wake up in the middle of the night, of course, and then I used EAM just because I just couldn't. It was so bad, so hard. And that took me some. Was this from a problem that they had, or was this from some past lives ago? And I discovered that yes, everything was related and something that I couldn't even imagine, of course. It was anything from this life, was from other lives. But I couldn't, even if I thought about, I don't know if I could go there to think about, especially rape, drugs, and things like that. So, obviously I cleared, was helpful, but those dreams are always coming. So
what's the question?
So what is this related to? So I dream, I have the nightmare, and then I use EAM to release.
And is it the same dream that comes back, or a different one with a similar story?
No, it's a different one. But it's just even if I thought about it, I couldn't even imagine that something like this happened. I just thought about it because of the dream. Right? But so how do I go so deep?
Did you say the dream when you sway, is it from this lifetime or past life?
Past lives.
Past life. So what's coming up? What's coming up are past lives for you to clear.
Yes.
So the reason they come, so that's what you're working through at the moment, is this is all the stuff that's being carried in your energy from past lives that you're working through, and this is its way of kind of showing to you in order for you to do the work on clearing it.
So those are basically dreams that are or kind of calling me to do Oh,
the
that's
work
amazing.
that you, yeah. So this is what, so another tiny teach, super quick. Tiny teach. Hold on. This will teach me to be a bit more prepared next time. So when we go to sleep, sorry, you're going to have to excuse my very technical drawing here. Hold on. Hold on. So when we go to sleep, hopefully you can see my very technical stick lady. She's going to wear a skirt. She's got some shoes. So when we go to sleep, we've got the different layers of our aura. During the day, our soul, our spirit part of ourself, is hanging out here in our heart. When we go to sleep, sometimes it might be that they disappear off to go and have some fun somewhere else, so that we're not, you're still here, but it's just easier for your soul energy to leave the body. So when you go to sleep and you dream, it comes up here through the etheric, emotional, mental, and this level here is the astral level. So the astral level is connected to past lives. So as we are traveling up, it could be that you are almost not being stopped, but there's stuff in your astral level that you're picking up on when you're going to sleep, and it's because it needs to be released. So then as you come back down into your body, you wake up and it's like, you need to do the work on this stuff. So every time when you're going to sleep, you're literally going, it's like, oh, we need to do the work on this, we need to do the work on this. So it's actually a bit of a, I know it's probably not nice to experience, but it's actually a bit of a gift that you're able to do that, because otherwise those things are going to stay in your energy undiscovered. And exactly. So by doing the work on it, you are therefore releasing the resistance around it. So I think that's really cool. Personally, I'm sorry that they're a bit traumatic for you, but by releasing them, they're not going to be in your energy now, and they're going to stop playing. Obviously they're not playing out in your life in the same way that they did in the life before, but it's all working towards your alignment and your flow state.
Okay.
So
thank you very much.
very cool. Thank you for sharing that, darling. That's really cool. And keep us posted. Let me know how that goes as well. Right, you've all posted more than 3 questions now. I'm not going to be able to answer them all. Hold on. Can we just do step 5, Belkis? That was your question, my love. Are you? Oh, don't want to talk. The baby is sleeping. Okay, I will whisper. So, can you just do step 5? Yes and no. So, yes, if you know that there is no resistance to the thing that you're working on, and no, because most of the time, or some of the time, we can also have resistance to the things that we want to align to. So the reason that we do the first 4 steps is because a lot of other processes or methodologies talk a lot about working on the positive and being in flow and aligning to the things that you want, and I absolutely agree with all of those things. The issue comes to when we're asking for the things that we want, we're trying to align to something, but actually there is resistance in our energy to it. And that's why we do step 4 with EAM. That's why we spend so much time trying to figure out what the resistance is before we do the alignment. Because if you've got resistance about something, even if you don't know it, even if you don't feel it, if there's a belief, something hidden, an energy reversal, something from past life connected to the thing you want to align to, then the alignment that you do at step 5 won't work for you in the same way that it would, because you've got that resistance. Do you remember me talking about the 3 flows of energy? Energy is either in flow, in resistance. Sorry, I turn my fingers around. In flow, in resistance, or in reversal. And so if there's a resistant or reversed energy about that subject, even though you do step 5, that energy will still be pulling you back and holding on to you. So that's why we do the steps before that. If it's something that you've worked on before and you know there's no resistance to it, or before you do step 5, you ask the question, do I have resistance to the statement that you want to align to on step 5? Then by all means, fine, that's fine. If the answer is no, and there's no resistance to it, then yes, of course you can do the manifesting to that statement, but always check that there's no resistance to it first, because otherwise your step 5 statement isn't going to work for you anyway. So does that help? Is that useful? So yes, if you've got, like, you know, you've written all your affirmations out that you want to use and you've checked them, you know there's no resistance to them, of course you can just do I'm ready to allow. That's a really beautiful thing to do, but always make sure there's no resistance to the statements that you're doing and work on those first of all. Amanda says, I don't know what to do in a relationship. Okay, Amanda Nash, I'm going to have to come find you. Where are you?
Hi.
Can you unmute yourself if you're there? There you are, darling. Hello.
Really
Hi,
kind.
Amanda.
Hi, I'm in a bit of a state really because I've only got up to your day 3.
Yeah.
And I've been really struggling because, excuse the mess.
She's like, don't put the camera on me.
I came in halfway onto the program thing, I'm afraid, because I wasn't sure about downloading the Zoom thing. I was getting all like, is this safe? But I'm not sure because I keep trying to release and then I just get sucked into, I don't know where I am, and I feel like I'm in limbo. It's very difficult to know if I'm doing it right.
So what do you mean you don't know if you feel like you're stuck in limbo with the process, or that's what you're trying to work on releasing?
This is what I'm trying to release. So I don't know if it's over or if it's, you know, I was divorced. I've had a horrendous time. First relationship since. Really, really like this man. Really happy. You know, brilliant. Had a bit of a meltdown. Had a bit of a, you know, not sure where it's going, and I'm trying to, you know, work out how to deal with my emotions because I don't know what to do. So I'm trying to release it. And say, right, okay, let it be, you know, let it go, and if he is coming back, then he'll come back. But it's really hard, and I missed the other man. I think was talking about a relationship thing. I came in on that earlier in the talk, so I'm just not sure how to get myself back, as it were, with my energy right.
Fab. So not fab that you've got it, but thank you for the explanation.
Sorry, I'm not being very concise.
No. But
the energy I felt, the weird thing about meeting this man was the energy I felt last time I shook his hand, and I didn't even know him. It was like a bolt of energy. It was amazing. And our paths kept crossing and crossing for about 3 years, and then we get together. It's lovely. And then I've sort of self-sabotaged it because of my divorce, I think. So I just... Yes.
Where do I begin? So just the purpose of time, I'm going to put the replay out to this. The first part of the answer is watch the beginning of this video, because what I talked you through is how to approach any... No, you're fine. No, it's fine. What I talked to everyone through was how to work on any situation that you've got coming up. So it's like anything you've got going up, if you follow these steps. So you'll see me talk through all of this. It took me about 10 minutes, so I won't talk back through it again now. But you put the issue in the middle and then work through this process at the beginning of the video. So I'll get the replay out really soon. Second part to that is, have you seen day 3 of the 5 days to flow? So where I talk about the 10 key areas of your life. Yeah. So relationships is like step 6.
Okay.
You've gone from the beginning to like, I need to sort out this big thing, and I get why it's so important. I absolutely do. But there are some other things that you need to do first before being able to resolve the whole situation around the relationship stuff. Right. But what you've identified is exactly what it is. I'm still carrying stuff from my previous relationship.
Yeah.
So using this, put relationships in the middle, follow the steps that I share on here, thoughts, beliefs, emotions you've got. It all feels so amazing. I'm so stuck. I feel like I'm in limbo. Like I'm still so stuck on my past partner, because there's a part on here about people and situations, and I'm sure there's been things around your divorce.
I think because he left me, he cheated on me because I hadn't seen this other man so much, because he's just so busy and such a lovely man. I suddenly thought, oh, he hasn't seen me, he must be cheating on me, which is totally loopy. But I brought that past into the new.
Absolutely.
And not realised. So
and that's because it's all still in your energy. Right. So anything that's still in your energy, you know, something as significant as your partner cheating on you is of course going to be in your energy unless or until you release it. So this is, you need to do the work on you to release all of these things, the story, what you're holding, what happened, the shock, the trauma, the anger, the frustration, because whilst it's all there, you are still looking at the world outside of you through those lenses. No matter what anybody says, no matter what they do, that's still in your energy. So you can't see past that energetically until you let it go. So the work for you to do is actually on yourself. Don't try and fix the relationship piece first. Work through these things, clear up your energy around it. Then once you've worked through that, and the second part will actually really help you as well. So the other thing I talked about was called the energy triangle. It's the pusher, the puller, and the protector energies. Then do some work around that, because from just even the bit that you've just shared, it sounds like there's some stuckness between you and your ex-husband, and you need to clear the energy up around that as well, so that again that doesn't reflect into this new relationship too. So do the work on you.
I'm trying to manifest it.
So do the work on you. Let go of this tension and is it still going to be there? Because it may be that it's him, and it may be that it's not him. He might have been shown to you to show you what's possible in a relationship, to show you what that magical connection feels like. And you know, and again, this is a whole huge thing that, you know, we talk about with the relationship stuff. It's like he could be there for you in order for you to help create your tick list of like, this is what I want in a relationship. I want this, I want this, I want it to be this, and and everything that we go through, particularly in relationships, as we grow and evolve, use them as your definitive tick list of what you do want in a relationship and what you never want to have in a relationship again. But if you never want to have it, you know that what you do want. So you know that you want trust, you know that you want commitment, you know that you want those things. And it helps you when you've done the releasing of resistance work around it, in aligning to what you want that new relationship to be like. And then you call them in, and it might be this guy, it might be somebody even more magical and even more perfect for you once you've released the resistance around it. So don't necessarily get attached to it being this guy. You are going to be busy, but the most important person is focusing on you first, because if you try and fix this relationship from where you are, you're going to come at it from that don't leave me, don't leave me, don't leave me, don't leave me, are you cheating on me kind of energy, which just isn't going to bring you what you want there to be anyway. I'm not saying you're necessarily coming from that, I'm just using that as an example, but does that make sense?
Thank you very much, that's so kind.
You're more than welcome. Thank you, Amanda. So my lovelies, I know that there are loads more questions in there, and I really want to stay and talk to you, but we are going to have lunch shortly, and I've got to go back to teaching these guys because we're leaving today. It's our last day today. What I'm going to do, hold on one second, let me just have a quick scoot through. Oh, Martin, hi Martin, I didn't know you were on here, and Lorraine, hello darlings, and Carol. Not start moving forward. If you just want to post your last questions in there, like as a full question, what I'll do is I will post them in the Facebook group later. So if you post it in there as a full question, and then what it is, then I will come in and answer them. Michelle says, I know you're getting hangry, but I'll post this for later. What about visualization and finding out how to make it happen? Okay, one last question, just because I'm going to get so sucked in. I can't help myself. Sorry, Michelle. Michelle, where are you? Can you wave at me or unmute yourself? I can find you. Michelle. Post it in there. Ah, there you are. Hello, darling. What's your question? Hi. Last one. I'm not gonna get sucked in. Michelle, you're the last question. Oh. What was that again? It's the electric. Oh, there's something magic happening. Anyway, what was your question, love?
Visualization. I've been working on it. I did have a good visualization, but I have been known to be very good at visualizing things anyway. And then when I try to make it work, I seem to, I don't know, somehow one thing or another comes up and it just doesn't seem to happen. So I'm just wondering, how can I don't know, I've just been struggling trying to find the right questions to ask. Trying to sort of work out how can I trust my visualization as well. I've been trying to release that as well, but there must be many things around that. So yeah, just it feels like, I suppose it feels overwhelming that there's so much around the visualization and how to make it happen.
Is it that what you're seeing in your visualization feels so huge that you're like, oh my God, how is that all possible? How do I make it happen? Or is it, okay, so you've seen stuff in your vision and it's like, that feels way too huge for me to do.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's the first part of that journey is all about you. And it is following those 10 bits that I've shared on day 3, like work through evolving yourself. Use this. So all of the stuff, this thing that we talked about here earlier, put your vision in the middle, the thing that feels so big and so scary and so like, oh my gosh, how is that ever going to be possible for me? And use this to work through all of the stuff that comes up around it. Because whilst we feel the resistance, whilst we hold the resistance in our energy to that stuff, it's not going to come in the way that we want it to. So by simply working on the energy of it, the situations, the people, the opportunities will start arriving for you. They will start arriving for you, but you have to release the resistance around it. The other part of that is then taking action. So once you've released the resistance around the scary vision, you will start to get intuitive ideas, insights about actions and things to take. You will also have little people crawling all over you whilst you're on camera. Little person. Hello. But the intuitive ideas will happen, and that's when you start having the chance opportunities, the chance meetings, but it comes in direct correlation to the action that you take. So when you start saying yes to yourself, like something shows up, even when it feels big and scary or whatever, that you release the resistance first, then go and take the action. Because when you take the action, that's when you meet the person, you find the book, you get the email, you get the whatever. So don't get attached to how am I going to do this? Get attached to how am I going to be ready to do this? And that's your only work, be ready. So do the work on yourself to be ready for it to happen, and then follow the steps as and when they come. You don't need to have the whole big picture. When I normally teach the visualization stuff, I draw something that's supposed to look like a mountain. It always ends up looking a little bit like a bum, but it is supposed to be 2 mountains. But your vision is kind of like the sunrise on the horizon. And so your vision is your guiding light. All you can see right now, you're stood at the foot of the mountain and the path goes around the corner. All you can see is the first 20 feet of that journey. And that's all you have to do, is just focus on that first 20 feet. And then when you get around the corner, you see the next bit, you see the next bit. Don't try and figure it all out, because your vision will change. Your vision will change and evolve.
I think somebody else is hungry.
How old is she?
Hello.
Oh, bless her. She clearly wants mummy's attention.
She does.
So, yes, she does. But just your work is to be ready for it. Get yourself in a place of being ready to receive your visualization. That's the most important part. But thank you. It's a brilliant question. Thank you. The rest of the day. Thank you. So all the rest of you that posted your questions, I will download them later, and I'll post this in the Facebook group. I'll post the Q&A in the big Facebook group later, and then I'll try and answer your questions underneath. If I don't do it tonight, because we're traveling back this afternoon and tonight, I will do that tomorrow. But for those of you, I would love, it's my last event. If you haven't seen this already in the Facebook group, it's my last 2-day event in London in 6 weeks, the 7th and 8th of July. It's my last event in London in the UK. And if you aren't booked yet, please come along to that. And if you can't tune in, if you can't come live, then at least tune into the Q&A. But it's also going to be the book launch as well. So if you can make along to that, would be awesome. And I know some of you have popped in the chat. You've been sending me little private messages about the mentoring or the Q&A stuff as well. If you want to know more about that, hold on, let me post this. 2 seconds. Here, I'm going to post a link in the chat just quickly for you guys. If you want to know more about that, like coming on the 10-month journey where we work through all of this stuff like together, I would absolutely love to have you on board. If you follow the link on there and just put in the 10-month journey and book a call in with either Jeannie or Martin, who's been on here somewhere, or Lisa, and then they can chat to you about it. Our next group starts in June, so we've got another group starting in June. Lazar's coming, Lisa, there's like loads of people joining, and some of you guys who are on here will be in the program. But if you want to find out more about that, just get on the phone and talk to us. I promise I'm not scary. I only bite when I'm hangry. We are really lovely, but we are genuinely here to support you with changing your life and helping you step into the next level of that. So just book a call and have a conversation. It's not one of those like icky, horrible, salesy things. It really is a chance for us to get to know you, to find out more about your story, where you're at, where you're stuck, where you need support, and whether the 10-month journey is even the right thing for you or not, but we'll be able to point you in the right direction. So the link's down there in the chat. Book yourself in and have a call with one of us. If you can join us in June, that would be awesome. If not, September's the next group intake that we're doing. But things are shifting very, very rapidly. I hope you've enjoyed the call and got a little sense more of what EAM is all about today. But if you can join us in July, come and join us for the event. It's the last 2 days that I'm going to be running in the UK, and I'd love to see you all there, which would be awesome. But you can find out about all of it on that link. So thank you so much. I will answer your questions inside the group. I'll probably run another Q&A in a couple of weeks. But thank you for your time today. I hope it's been worthwhile. Has it been helpful? Have you all got a bigger picture? Awesome. I can see lots of thumbs. Hang on one sec. Oh, they've all run off for lunch. I'm going to have to go because they're going to eat the food without me. They're all going to eat without me. Thank you so much for your time. It's been awesome sharing this with you today. I'm going to go and soak up the last little bits of sunshine this afternoon because I'm going to be back in the UK. But thank you so much for, thanks for your time. Thanks for your questions. And I'll do my best to answer them for you inside the Facebook group as soon as possible. Have a wonderful afternoon. Or it's not even afternoon there. Is it still morning in the UK? Still morning. Have a wonderful morning. See you all very soon. Take care. Thanks so much. Copy the link out as well if you want it. See you later. Bye. 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 Bye.